Daniel sat in a coffee shop, his eyes fixed on his phone. He scrolled endlessly through articles and videos about relationships, each one promising the secret to lasting love. His last relationship had ended without drama. There was no betrayal, no explosive fights, just a quiet drifting apart. Until one day he realized he was sharing a home with a stranger. At first, he blamed her. Then he blamed himself. But eventually, Daniel began to understand something deeper. He had expected her to complete him. He had leaned on her for happiness, validation, even his sense of self-worth. And while that worked in the beginning, the weight became too heavy for anyone to carry. That's when he learned the first truth. The best relationship doesn't begin with, "You complete me." It begins when two whole people come together, not out of need, but out of choice. After the breakup, Daniel forced himself to sit with the silence he had been running from. He spent months rediscovering who he was. He journaled, traveled, and faced his own fears. Slowly, he became someone who no longer looked for someone else to fix him, but someone who had something to offer. Then Daniel met Maya. She wasn't like anyone he had known before. She was confident, kind, and driven, with dreams that stretched beyond his own. On their very first conversation, he noticed something different. She listened, really listened. And when he shared his thoughts, she didn't dismiss them. She respected them. It wasn't about always agreeing. They disagreed often, but they treated each other with respect even in those moments. For Daniel, that was new. He had finally experienced what it meant to be valued, not for perfection, but for being himself. And he realized respect wasn't just important. It was the foundation of something unshakable. Their bond didn't ignite in instant fireworks. It started with friendship. They took long walks, laughed over inside jokes, and tried cooking together, often ending in disasters that left them, laughing even harder. One night, while sitting at a table covered in burnt food, Daniel looked at Maya and felt something he hadn't before: safety. This wasn't the rush of butterflies that came and went. It was the steady glow of companionship. And he saw clearly that friendship was the soil where love truly grew. Of course, not every day was easy. There were moments of tension, days when Daniel was too consumed by work, or when Maya grew distant with her own worries. But instead of retreating into silence, they talked. They asked each other, "How are you really doing?" They argued, yes, but not to win, to understand. Daniel came to see that relationships don't collapse because of distance or even mistakes. They collapse because of silence. And silence was something he and Maya refused to allow. As years passed, they both changed. Maya pursued a career she once thought impossible, while Daniel finally started the business he had been afraid to risk. Growth could have separated them, but instead, it brought them closer. They supported each other's dreams, celebrated milestones, and encouraged one another through failures. Daniel discovered that the best relationship isn't about staying the same. It's about growing side by side, becoming new versions of yourselves and still finding space for each other in every chapter. One night, Maya broke down in Daniel's arms. She admitted fears she had hidden for years, fears of failing, fears of never being enough. She expected judgment, but what she received was acceptance. Later, Daniel shared his own scars, the loneliness after his last breakup, the nights he doubted himself. In that exchange, they found something deeper than passion: vulnerability, the ability to show your true self, flaws and all, and still be loved. That was the intimacy they had built. Looking back, Daniel realized the truth. The best relationship wasn't perfect. It wasn't about avoiding arguments or living in constant romance. It was about two imperfect people choosing each other every single day. It was about respect, friendship, communication, growth, and vulnerability. That was the kind of relationship that didn't just survive life storms. It thrived in them. So, the question is this: are you waiting for someone to complete you? Or are you building yourself into someone whole, ready to share that wholeness with another? Because the best relationship doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with a decision, the decision to build something real, lasting, and true. And maybe, just maybe, it's the kind of relationship waiting for you.